Wow, there we go. The ministry of the shelter started in 1971 and was initiated by the organization Tot Heil des Volks, which means for the salvation of the people, a registered charity in Amsterdam since 1855.
During the flower power of the early 1970s, the organisation recognised the spiritual need of the many hippies that were flocking to Amsterdam.
In April of 1971, one of the former schools of the organization was turned into a youth hostel, the Ebenezer, now named Shelter Jordan.
From the beginning, the vision of the Shelter Youth Hostel Ministry has been to show the love of Christ, through practical service and hospitality, and through the communication of the gospel with words.
Because of the success of the Ebenezer, in August 1972, a second school was turned into a youth hostel, the Shelter, now named Shelter City.
Many things have changed since then, and many things have stayed the same. Let's take a look in the yearly reports and discover for ourselves.
Starting with the yearly report of 1978, when guests check in, they receive a tract with one of the Gospels in their own language. In the evening, the guests are welcomed to the hostel and invited for Bible study. Usually quite a few people show up.
How do things work in the hostel? We have one manager and 3 assistant managers per hostel. We have cleaners who get free room and board for a few hours of cleaning a day. They attend the Bible study daily. Next to that, we have staff from all over the world who will volunteer from 1 month up to a year or even longer.
1980. We already exist 8 years, and we are known all over the world. Many people who stayed here tell others about us. Also this year we are trying to be the cheapest hostel and to have the best service. We hope to be a witness to all our guests and that many will encounter God for the first time. We added a charge of 1 guilder for clean sheets, and in this way we were able to cover all the costs for laundry throughout the year.
1981. A black day in the history of the shelter is Sunday night, the 20th of September, 1981. This night, Sipke Brandsma was killed during a robbery in the shelter. Also, this year, 4 students from Wheaton helped us out in the summer.
1982. We are now using video cassettes to show a Christian film every week in the snack bar.
1985. There are 3 types of warm breakfast: eggs with ham and cheese, pancakes, or French toast. You can also get a cold breakfast.
1987. Evangelism in the Shelter and Ebenezer. The way the staff and management treats each other continues to be a testimony. We have Bible studies and show a Christian video once a week. When guests check in, they receive a tract. We also have programs with music, singing, and testimonies.
I'm sorry. I got nervous. I'm sorry. 1988. A Christian artist from the Philippines made a beautiful wall painting in the snack bar of the shelter. The area of the Nieuwmarkt was often in the news because of drug addicts and dealers.
1989. Many times guests are sent to us by different organizations like Ouders uit Schoondak, Youth with a Mission, the Ark, and the Cleft. We got new bunk beds donated to us by Kok Hotels. We got a better phone connection, and also we now have a computer. There was a fire in one of the dorms in the shelter. Luckily, the firemen were there quickly to extinguish it.
1991. In both hostels we had enough staff during the whole year. Because of this, we were able to have many conversations with our guests about Christ. Every night, the nightman keeps the hostel safe. The snack bar of the Ebenezer was renovated. The bar in the middle of the snack bar was taken out.
1994. The shelter and the Ebenezer are starting to work closer together. Because it's harder to get staff from abroad, we exchange staff members between the hostels to still be able to evangelize amongst the travelers. Since the beginning of this year, all the staff of the Ebenezer lives in the Swinkelstraat, no longer in the hostel. The staff of the shelter still lives on the attic of the shelter and in the dorms.
1999. In December, the Ebenezer changed its name to the Shelter Jordan.
The shelter now is called the Shelter City. Also, the logo of the hostel changed. Slowly, but surely, we are moving out of the pioneer period of the hostels and becoming more professional.
2001 and 2002, the Shelter Jordan and Shelter City celebrate their 30th birthday. In both hostels we had a reunion for this. Guests are now able to book a bed online via Hostel World.
2004. From this year on, all the staff lives in the new community house on the Willemstad 33. Staff appreciates the feeling of family between the two hostels. Also, our new ministry training program started. In this program, staff learn about the practical work in the hostels, about the biblical topics, and about the personal living.
2006. Every shift starts with prayer. We pray for our guests, for openings to share the gospel. We had chances to share during city walks, Bible studies, hostel nights, and through personal conversations. We are encouraged by the openness of the guest.
2007. Every day our cleaners attend a morning devotion where they learn about living with Christ. We are thankful to see some of them give their life to Christ. Some of them were baptized in the chapel of Oudezijds 100. In December we started using Backpack Online as our booking program for the reception. About 98% of our guests book a bed on the web.
40-year shelter. So much has changed. The names of the shelter, the facilities of the hostels, the type of guests. Many workers came and went. How we organize the practical duties have changed. One thing did not change. The desire of sharing the gospel with our guests. The mission to inspire young people traveling from all over the world by showing and telling them about God's love in Jesus Christ. Thanks to God for His faithfulness to the shelter for those last 40 years. May God bless the shelter for all the years that has to come.